Okay, let's unpack this. We are officially past that early exhibition stuff in the NBA preseason.
Yeah, definitely.
And the storylines, well, they're not just half-speed scrimmages anymore, are they?
Not at all. What we're seeing now feels much more real. Genuine strategic shifts, you know? You see future stars starting to pop and, yeah, some pretty serious veteran drama, too. Concerning stuff.
Absolutely. And the amount of info coming out, reports, breakdowns.
It's exploded this week.
It really has. So our mission today, like always, is to cut through all that noise, give you the essential shortcut.
Get you up to speed fast.
Exactly. We're digging into the most explosive young guys, what's really behind some key veteran news, and maybe taking a look at which teams might have some structural flaws peeking through already.
We want the why, not just the what.
Precisely. The context matters.
And look, we have to start with the youth movement, because the future isn't just knocking, it's like kicking the door down right now.
Yeah, it feels that way. That Hornets versus Mavericks game gave us this electric duel. You had the established young star, LaMelo Ball, against probably the most hyped rookie besides Wemby, Cooper Flagg.
And what's so interesting there is just the contrast, right? The energy, the approach, completely different.
Totally.
Flagg, I mean, for a teenager, second preseason game, he showed this remarkable composure, pace. He just rarely looks sped up.
Yeah, that stood out. Very calm.
Now, okay, he did have 5 turnovers, but that's kind of standard rookie stuff. You expect that.
Sure, part of the learning curve.
But the offensive flashes, they were advanced, really advanced.
That pull-up jumper he has, it looks so smooth already.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It really is. If you want to be a #1 option as a wing in today's NBA, you have to be able to create your own shot, hit contested looks.
Right. Separation is key.
And that pull-up is his weapon. It means the defense has to respect him out high. They can't just duck under screens all the time. And that unlocks his playmaking. We saw that vision too, right? That lob he threw.
Yeah, the one to Mark Williams. Beautiful pass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It shows he can be a primary creator down the line, not just a scorer.
So if Flagg's like the calm, steady presence, LaMelo Ball was just pure energy on the other side.
Well, completely. Pure lightning, like you said.
Hornets got the win, and his energy felt like the difference maker. He was a plus 27 in 23 minutes. That's just wild.
It's absurd. And he set the tone right away.
Yeah.
It wasn't just scoring, it was the confidence. Like bombing these crazy one-footed threes.
Saw that highlight.
And then just setting guys up perfectly off the dribble. It was artful.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the takeaway from that game, Hornets have this dynamic system, pace, creation. Flagg looks like a future centerpiece, sure. Yeah. But LaMelo, he's already operating at that elite young guard level right now.
And connecting this bigger picture, it just hammers home how loaded the league is with young talent coming up.
Absolutely stacked.
Which brings us to that other big prospect battle. The big men. Victor Wembanyama versus Ace Bailey.
Yeah, and here's where the numbers, especially the efficiency, just start getting ridiculous. Yeah. So Wemby against the Jazz, probably his best, most dominant game yet. 22 points, right? In just 19 minutes.
Wow, 19 minutes.
Plus 13, 7 boards, 3 assists. He just looks ready. Like immediate anchor potential, defensive monster waiting to happen.
Yeah, we kind of expect that from Wemby now. But the real eye-opener maybe was Ace Bailey for the Jazz going against the Spurs. His numbers, you just can't ignore them.
You really can't. Bailey dropped 20 points and did it on, 8 for 13 shooting?
Yeah.
Super efficient.
Very.
But get this context. Through his first 2 preseason games, Bailey's averaging 22.5 points per game.
Okay.
On 65.5% shooting from the field, 40% from 3, and perfect from the line.
That's insane efficiency for a rookie, 65%.
It's absurd for any player, let alone a rookie learning the ropes.
So that immediately, pegs him as someone really special.
It has to. You start thinking, okay, is this maybe the most exciting Jazz prospect since Donovan Mitchell? Or maybe even go back further like a young Deron Williams.
High praise, but the numbers back it up so far.
They do. And unlike some rookies who just get volume shots, Bailey seems comfortable finding his spots within the flow while still being incredibly efficient. So the big takeaway from all these rookies, Flagg, Wemby, Bailey, they're not just potential anymore. They're already impacting games now. Teams have to game plan for them.
Wait, let's pivot. From the future stars to maybe the most important veteran situation right now. LeBron James and his injury. We know it's right side sciatica, nerve irritation. What's the latest?
Well, the official word from the Lakers is pretty clear. He's out for the season opener, October 21st against the Warriors. Then reevaluation in 3 to 4 weeks.
3 to 4 weeks.
But
Okay.
the strategic insight here, what I'm hearing, is that this isn't just, a random injury timeline. It's calculated.
Calculated how?
LeBron's camp, the Lakers, they plan to be overly cautious is the phrase being used. They're explicitly prioritizing his health for the playoff push. Think April through June. That's the window they care about.
Okay, so they're consciously sacrificing early season games, maybe even seeding, to make sure he's 100% for the playoffs. That's a big gamble.
It's a huge strategic trade-off.
Yeah.
Because, yes, the goal is the championship, but you lean too hard on role players, you put too much early load on Luka Doncic,
Right.
you risk digging too deep a hole in the West standings.
Right, making that playoff push even harder later.
Exactly. It's a risk. But it's clearly based on one core belief. LeBron at 100% in May is way more valuable than LeBron at, say, 80% in November trying to grind out wins.
Makes sense from their perspective. All right, speaking of vets impacting teams, we got that big Shams report, Russell Westbrook, and the Sacramento Kings. Is that really happening?
It sounds like it's got serious legs. The report used the phrase strong mutual interest, and strategically, it makes a ton of sense for Sacramento.
Why them specifically?
Well, look at last season. They were, 29th in the league in both bench points and bench assists. Dead last, basically.
Oof. Yeah, that's bad.
When their starters sat, the offense just completely fell off a cliff. It flatlined.
And Westbrook, even now, he's still a guy who can generate offense and brings that energy.
Precisely. Last year with Denver, he still put up like 13.6 assists off the bench, played a pretty key role for them. He gives you that instant aggressive playmaking jolt that the Kings bench just desperately needs.
Plus the connections, right? He knows guys there.
Yeah, that helps too. He's apparently close with Sanonis, played with Schroeder before, got those LA ties with DeRozan and Levine. It suggests maybe a smoother integration, someone who could potentially stabilize what's been a pretty volatile bench unit for them.
Interesting. Okay, let's shift to team dynamics we saw. Hawks beat the Grizzlies, 122-116. Now, gotta acknowledge Memphis was missing.
No.
Well, everybody. Morant, JJJ, Bane, Edie, Clark.
Yeah, basically their whole core rotation was out. So you take the win with a grain of salt.
Right. But what did we learn about Atlanta's offense from that game? What looked good?
The big strategic positive, I think, was seeing the potential of that Trae Young, Kristaps, Porziņģis two-man game. It looked, honestly, terrifying at times.
Terrifying how? What makes it click?
Well, Trae is obviously, a pick-and-roll maestro, one of the best.
Yeah.
And KP's versatility, his ability to space the floor, way out, cut hard, pop for jumpers, it just creates so many different problems for a defense compared to what they had with Capella.
Explain that difference. What specific problem does KP solve?
Okay, so with Capella, defenses knew he wasn't a shooter, right? So they could play drop coverage, let the center hang back near the paint, cut off Trae's driving lanes, and basically dare Capella to shoot from mid-range.
Right, clog the paint.
Exactly. But with Porziņģis, his shooting gravity is elite. Defenses cannot just drop back. The opposing center has to come way out towards the three-point line, or at least hedge much higher. And that instantly opens up the entire lane.
Ah, okay. So Trae has more room to operate.
Tons more room. To drive, to hit rollers, whatever.
Hmm.
And that change in gravity, it just cascades down. It allows their big wings, guys like Jalen Johnson, who shot 7 for 11, or Zachary, who was scorchy hot, 6 for 8 from 3. They get wide open looks.
Because the defense is preoccupied with the Trae KP action.
Constantly worried about it. So, yeah, if that starting five can figure out the defense offensively, man, they look like they could be incredibly tough to stop.
All right, moving on. Pacers and Thunder had a rematch. A lot of guys out again, but what did we learn about maybe the depth of these teams?
Well, for OKC, it just reinforces what we already suspected.
Yeah.
Their depth is just absurd. It really confirms they look like a team that could genuinely win 60-plus games this year.
60? Wow.
Look at A.J. Mitchell's performance. Comes in, drops 16 points in just 15 minutes.
Efficient.
Super efficient. And it just confirms, this guy is a born scorer. He finds buckets within the flow, not forcing things. The Thunder can just throw wave after wave of fresh, talented players at you all night long. It's relentless.
And for the Pacers, any blight spots in that game?
Yeah, Talon Peter looked really solid, put up 18 points, 5 boards, 5 assists, shot it well too, 4 for 8 from 3. Looks like a really efficient kind of diamond in the rough guy for their bench. Understands spacing, plays smart.
Good find for them, potentially. Okay, quickly, before we head fully west, Devin Booker. Put up 18 points, 27 minutes for the Suns against the Nets. Looked solid, as usual.
Yeah, Booker's going to get his buckets. That's never really the question with him.
So what is the question then? What does this tell us about Phoenix overall?
Well, his performance is fine, confirms he's elite. But the bigger, deeper issue is still that roster imbalance for the Suns. And it's why expectations are still kind of low for them, like struggling to crack 35 wins type lows.
Even with Booker, why so pessimistic?
It comes down to a couple of key things they just seem to lack. One, a true, reliable point guard. Someone to initiate offense consistently, give them structure.
Booker's always played better with a point guard.
Always. It lets him conserve energy, focus on scoring when it matters most. Right now, feels like he has to do a bit too much playmaking, and that's draining over 82 games, especially in the West.
And the other missing piece.
Interior defense, they just don't have a real anchor down low.
Right.
That makes them really vulnerable against the top teams, Think Denver, the Clippers.
Yeah.
Teams that can just pound them inside repeatedly.
So they're banking on young guys stepping up.
Pretty much. They need prospects like Malawach or Rasheer Fleming to develop SAST, become that defensive presence. If that doesn't happen, those structural weaknesses are going to get exposed night after night, especially come springtime.
Gotcha. Okay, let's wrap with the big one. The Western Conference, it's just a meat grinder. The Blazers just edged out the Kings, 124-123. Does that win mean anything? Can Portland actually compete for a playoff spot this year?
Okay, let me give you the optimistic case first, because there is one.
All right, lay on me.
The Blazers should be an absolute nightmare to play against. They absolutely will push for a play-in spot, I think.
Yeah.
Their defense, on paper, looks potentially elite.
Really?
Yeah. You bring in Drew Holiday. You've got Donovan Clingan, who looks like an elite rim protector already. Tomani Kamara is playing like an all-defense guy. They have depth, crazy athleticism. They should be formidable defensively.
Okay, that sounds good. Nightmare team, tough defense. But is that enough in this West? Can lockdown defense alone get it done when you might struggle to score sometimes? Won't teams just pack the paint against Clingan and dare their other guys to make shots?
And that is the million-dollar question. That's the reality check.
Uh-oh.
Because the Western Conference this year is just historically deep. It's brutal. We can sit here right now and probably list, 8 teams that you'd say are definitively better or more well-rounded or just more proven than Portland?
Let's hear the list.
Okay, you've got OKC, Denver, the Clippers. Houston looks improved. Minnesota, the Lakers, Golden State, Dallas.
Yeah, that's 8 right there. That's a tough list to crack.
It's brutal. So that leaves Portland basically fighting tooth and nail with teams like Sacramento, especially if they actually get Westbrook, New Orleans, maybe Memphis if they get healthy, just for those last 2 play-in spots, the 9th and 10th seeds.
Wow. So even being a nightmare defensively might only get you into that 9 to 10 game scrap.
Exactly. Their path is just going to be relentlessly difficult night in and night out, no matter how good their defense is on any given night. The margin for error is tiny.
Man, that depth is just staggering. So, okay, we've covered a lot. Huge flashes from young guys like Flagg, Bailey, Wemby, calculated caution from LeBron's camp, some potentially scary offenses emerging with the Hawks, and, well, they always deep thunder.
Right.
But it all kind of bumps up against this reality of the Western Conference just being absurdly loaded.
It really does. And the fact that a team like Portland, built to be this defensive nightmare, is still looking like they're fighting just to make the play-in. It raises a really interesting question, I think, for you listening to mull over.
Okay.
In this current NBA landscape, especially in the West, is having that kind of elite defense and depth actually enough to truly contend anymore? Or does the sheer volume of top-end talent mean even a team like Portland might eventually have to swing for a major star trade just to stay relevant and truly compete rather than just be tough out? Is depth enough, or do you still need that top-tier star power above all else?
Something to think about. Thank you for listening. Please comment, like, subscribe if you're on YouTube, Spotify. Please leave 5-star review. Until next time.